Hello friends, I am MD Harun Al Rashid and it's your YouTube channel Harun Biozone. Today in this video I will discuss 45 very important biology MCQ questions for the preparation of NEET. This is the 5th number video out of 40, so don't be late, let's start. The first question of this video says the term systematics, neo-systematics was introduced by Julian Huxley, Bentham and Hooker, A.P.D. Candolle and Linnaeus. The term neo-systematics was proposed by Julian Huxley is the correct option. Okay, Julian Huxley is the correct option. Bentham and Hooker proposed the natural system of classification. In his book Genera Plantarum. A.P.D. Candolle is coined the term taxonomy and internal biological clock. This term also represented by A.P.D. Candolle. Carolus Linnaeus is called father of taxonomy, establish taxonomic hierarchy, binomial nomenclature. In his book Species Plantarum. One thing, what is the meaning of neo-systematics? Okay, systematics means taxonomy and phylogenetics are called neo-systematics. Taxonomy means the branch of science where classify an organism on the basis of identification, nomenclature, and classification. Okay. And phylogenetics means evolutionary relationship. So I think you understand the meaning of neo-systematics. Neo-systematics is the branch of science that deals with taxonomy and phylogenetics. Next, question number 2. Employment of hereditary principles in the improvement of human race. Okay, employment of hereditary. That means the hereditary principles are applied to improve the human race is called euthenics, ethnology, and eugenics. The correct option of this question is option number 4 is the correct option, that is improvement of human race genetically. It is genetically improvement. But euphenic means improve the human race by phonetically by medical or genetical process. Genetical process. This is called euthenics. What is the meaning of euthenic? Improving the human race by changing the environment. Euthenics means improve the human race by change the environment. Like better nutrient, education, sanitation, etc. And ethnology is a branch of anthropology that deals with the that compare and analyze the characters of different people. So, employment of hereditary principle in the improvement of human race is correct answer eugenic, where genetically improve the human race. Ethnology is a branch of anthropology that deals with the compare and analyze the character of different peoples. Euthenics is the improvement of the human race by change the environmental condition like education, better nutrient, etc. And euphenic phonetically improved by medical or genetical process. I think you understand all the options of this question. Next question, the basic unit or smallest taxon of the taxonomy is called family, species, variety and kingdom. The correct option is species. Now question number 4, if there was no CO2 in the Earth's atmosphere, the temperature of the Earth's surface would be the same, higher than the present from the environmental issue, depend on the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere from environmental issue, less than the present. The correct option is the less than the present. Why? Because suppose this is the Earth and carbon dioxide act like mat on Earth. Okay, when sunlight come onto the Earth, the carbon dioxide level absorb this heat and maintain the temperature of the Earth. If CO2 is removed from the Earth, the temperature decrease up to minus 18 degree Fahrenheit or 18 degree centigrade, up to minus 18 degree centigrade. Okay, so CO2 is necessary for maintaining the global temperature. Okay, if the concentration of CO2 increase, then global warming occur. If concentration of CO2 decrease, then global winter come. Next question number 5. Relative biological effectiveness is usually referred to damage caused by the encephalitis, low temperature and radiation high temperature. Actually, relative biological effectiveness is a technique in where normal radiation and asynthetic radiation are used to compare the effective of that radiation on human being. Okay, the RB is the dose of reference radiation and dose of test radiation. Okay, which radiation is more effective? It is the main purpose of RBE. It compares how effective different radiation types are at causing damage. Different radiation and different damage properties that determined by RBE. With higher RBE indicate greater damage, heavily influenced by linear energy transfer, dose rate and cell type. It is also depend on linear energy transfer, dose rate and cell type. The correct option is radiation. Question number 6. A system of classification in which a large number of traits are considered. Natural system, artificial system, phylogenetic system and synthetic system. Here the large number of characteristics but not evolutionary relationship, that is natural system of classification. In natural system of classification they require physiological, embryological, cytological, biochemistry, genetics, molecular biology, histology, and anatomy, etc. are used to identify an organism, okay, but not evolutionary relationship. This system of classification is proposed by Bentham and Hooker. But phylogenetic system of classification is based on evolutionary relationship and proposed by Engler and Prantl. And artificial system of classification only few character. Like stamen number proposed by Carolus Linnaeus, Theophrastus, Aristotle. Okay, the correct option is natural system. Question number 7. What is the true for photolithotropes? Here, if you break this term, it break into photo, litho and troph. Photo means source of energy. Energy source is light. Electron source, inorganic material like hydrogen sulfide or hydrogen, etc. And trophs means refers to their mode of nutrition. Okay, so obtain energy from organic compound, not false. Obtain energy from radiation and hydrogen from organic compound, that is also false. Obtain energy from inorganic compounds, sometimes right, but obtain energy from radiation and hydrogen from inorganic compounds. 4 is the correct option. Species are considered as biological species concept first established by Ernst Mayr, 1940. Okay, he proposed that the interbreed organism that reproductively isolate from other from other similar group of organism. Other similar group of organism. Group of organism, that is called species. Now look the options. The lowest unit of classification. The unit of classification devised by taxonomists, artificial concept of human mind which cannot be defined in absolute terms. Real basic unit of classification. Real is the real basic unit of classification, because if we look at the hierarchical series like kingdom, phylum, or division, class, or family, genus, and species. Species is the smallest and basic unit of classification. Okay, and each point is called taxon. Question number 9. What is biosystematics aims at? Biosystematics aims at delimiting various taxa of organisms and establish a relationship, not identification and arrangement of organisms on the basis of their cytological character, not only cytological character but many more. The classification of organisms based on their evolutionary history and establishing their phylogeny on the totality of various parameters for all field of studies. This is the correct option. Biosystematics. Here, different types of data from different fields: cytology, biology, genetics, molecular biology, biochemistry, histology, anatomy, okay, and the evolutionary relationship among organisms are the important parameter for biosystematics. Question number 10. Select the correct statement from the following. Mutations are random and directional. Not. Mutations are random and directionless. Fitness is the end result of the ability to adapt and gets selected by nature. Mutation. This is the correct option. Darwinian variation are small and directionless. Not small and direction. Okay. Directional. All mammals except whales and camels have 7 cervical vertebrae. Not. Almost all mammals have 7 cervical vertebrae. Not except. The correct option is 2. Question number 11. The main difference in gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria resides in their cytoplasm, cell wall, flagella, and cell membrane. The major difference of gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria differ on the basis of their cell wall. Because if you look at the cell wall structure, the outer layer of the gram-positive bacteria is a thick cell wall. But in case of gram-negative bacteria, outer layer is plasma membrane. Okay. Here, different type of teichoic acid are present. Teichoic acid are present in gram-positive bacteria, but in gram-negative bacteria, there is no teichoic acid are present. And in case of gram-positive bacteria, the cell wall is thick, but in case of gram-negative bacteria, absent or very thin in layer that present between two membranes. Next question, question number 12. The part of life cycle of malarial parasites, Plasmodium vivax, that is first in female Anopheles. Okay, this is the life cycle of malaria, Plasmodium vivax, where some step of their life cycle is complete in human body, but some steps are in the female Anopheles mosquito. But in case of female Anopheles mosquito, the gametes fused and produce zygote. That is, sexual reproduction occur in the Anopheles mosquito, but asexual reproduction asexual reproductive part are taking place in the human body. So here sexual cycle is established or occur in the female mosquito body. Question number 13. Organisms which are indicator of sulfur dioxide pollination of air is the lichen. Lichen is the combination of a symbiotic relation between algae and fungi. Algae and fungi. In which region the sulfur dioxide concentration is high in atmosphere, they do not grow because they are sulfur sensitive. Question number 14. Reverse transcriptase is DNA dependent DNA polymerase, RNA dependent RNA polymerase, RNA dependent DNA polymerase, DNA dependent RNA polymerase. First of all, reverse transcriptase is found in retrovirus like HIV virus. In normal central dogma process, DNA produce DNA replication, DNA to mRNA, this is the transcription process, and mRNA to protein is the translation. This is called central dogma. But in some virus, reverse transcriptase is present. So they produce mRNA to DNA by reverse transcriptase enzyme. The reverse transcriptase is a RNA dependent DNA polymerase. Option 3. Correct. Question number 15 says the function of contractile vacuole in protozoa is contractile, the vacuole that contract itself and also relax. This type of vacuoles is used to maintain the osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means water and salt balance. Water and salt, maintain the water and salt balance in their body. Question number 16. The plasmid. The plasmid, what is plasmid? This is the bacteria. This is the bacterial DNA. This is the bacterial DNA. But some extra DNA present in the bacteria, that is called plasmid. Extra chromosomal autonomously replicated DNA. Is a component of cell wall of bacteria. No, this is not a component of cell wall of the bacteria. Helps in respiration. No, plasmid do not help in respiration. So both options are wrong. Is the genetic part in addition to DNA in microorganism. That is the correct option. It is the extra genetic part by extra chromosomal DNA, that is circular DNA, that bears very few number of genes. The function of plasmid is to protect the bacteria from any antibiotics. There are 3 types of plasmid are present, that is A plasmid, Ti plasmid, tumor inducing plasmid, and another is resistance plasmid, R plasmid, that protect the bacteria from antibiotic, R plasmid. Question number 17 says the chemical compound produced by the host plants to protect themselves against fungal infection. The against fungal infection produced is the phytoalexin, because this fungus produce mycotoxin. Against mycotoxin, plant produce phytoalexin. Phytoalexin like salicylic acid, jasmonic acid, etc. to protect himself from the fungus. Question number 18 says, which of the following is not correctly matched? Covered smart of barley, that is Ustilago nuda, root knot disease by Meridogene javonica, lead blight of potato, Phytophthora infestans, and smart of bajra, Tolisporium penicilliaris. So the not correct option is option number 1, because cover smart of barley is by Ustilago hordi. Ustilago hordi. Okay. Ustilago hordi. Ustilago nuda. Ustilago nuda. Ustilago nuda caused by loot smart of barley. Loot smart of barley. This is the loot smart of barley by Ustilago nuda. But this is the cover smart of barley by Ustilago hordi. Question number 19 says mycorrhiza. Okay, myco means fungus and rhiza means root. So fungus and the higher plant roots. Shows the symbiotic relationship. This is the root of the higher plant, and this is the blue color mycorrhiza. Okay, sometimes mycorrhiza present the outer surface of the root, that is mycorrhiza, and sometimes they enter and produce arbuscle. It's called vesicular arbuscle mycorrhiza. A fungus parasiting root system of higher plants, a symbiotic association of plant root and certain fungus, an association of rhizobium root, an association of rhizobium with roots of legumes plant, an association of algae with fungi. The correct option is option number 2, a symbiotic association of plant roots and certain fungi. An association of algae and fungi is called lichen. An association of rhizobium with the root of legumes plants. This is the nitrogen fixation process. Question number 20 says, which one of the following is not true about lichens? Some species can be used as pollution indicator. Definitely use. Their body is composed of both algal and fungal cell. This is also right. And some forms food for reindeers in Arctic region. Some forms foods in reindeer in Arctic region. They grow very fast at the rate of 2 cm per year. No, they grow very slow. They 1 to few millimeter per year. The rate of growth of lichen is very slow, 1 to few millimeter per year. Okay, the 3 is the wrong option. Question 21. Two bacteria found to be very useful in genetic engineering experiment. These are Rhizobium and Diplococcus, Escherichia coli and Agrobacterium, Nitromonas and Klebsiella, Nitrogen as This is E. coli and Agrobacterium. Because E. coli and Agrobacterium used as a vector, and E. coli also produced in the production of insulin-like substance. Question number 2. Most of the lichen consist of red and ascomycetes, blue algae and basidiomyces, brown algae and ascomycetes, and blue algae and ascomycetes. The correct option of this question is option 4. Because most of the lichen is the symbiotic association with higher plants roots with blue-green algae or ascomycetes. Question number 23 says extranuclear inheritance occurs. Extranuclear inheritance is called maternal inheritance. In this case, the genetic defect transferred to the offspring from mitochondria or chloroplast. Okay, so the correct option is killer strain in paramecium. The extranuclear inheritance occur in killer strains in paramecium because phenylketonuria, Tay-Sachs disease, both are memory disorder. Color blindness is a nuclear genetic disorder. Question of 24. Interferons are synthesized in response to when the virus, suppose one virus infects a cell, this cell secrete interferon. Why? It interferes the function of the virus. That is called virus. Which state Statement is correct for bacterial transduction. So what is the transduction process? Transduction means transfer of some bacterial DNA. Transfer of bacterial DNA through from one bacteria to another bacteria by bacteriophage virus. Okay, it's called bacterial transduction. Bacteria obtains DNA directly. A transfer of some genes from one bacteria to another bacteria through virus. This is the correct answer. 2 is the correct option. Which of the following statement is not true for retroviruses? Retrovirus means RNA virus. The genetic material in mature retrovirus is RNA. Right? DNA is not present at any stage in the life cycle of retrovirus. Not. It is false because the retrovirus contain RNA, but with the help of some of the reverse transcriptase enzyme, they convert RNA into DNA. Okay, by which they attack us. Retrovirus can causative agent of certain kinds of cancer. Definitely, retroviruses carry gene for RNA-dependent DNA polymerase. Right, that 2 is the incorrect option. Next question, question number 27. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? First, spirulina, single cell protein. This is correct option. Streptomyces, the antibiotic producing organism. Streptomycin, neomycin, kanamycin, gentamicin, etc. Rhizobium is a biofertilizer, fixed atmospheric nitrogen. The wrong answer is the Serratia, drug addiction, because Serratia marcescens is an organism that cause infection or red pigment on body. It is not related to drug addiction. So wrong answer is 4. Next question, question number 28. Which one of the following statements about viruses is correct? Okay, about viruses, which statement is correct? All viruses contain both RNA and DNA. No, all viruses is not contain. Most of the virus contain DNA as genetic material, but except some plant virus and some animal virus, plant virus and animal virus like coronavirus or HIV virus contain RNA. Nucleic acid of viruses is known as capsid. Now capsid is the outer portion of the capsid is a covering of virus. This is the nucleic acid and this is capsid. So this is also wrong. Viruses are obligate parasite. Definitely this is correct option. Viruses are obligate parasite because outside of the body viruses are dead, but inside the body they are living and they completely depend on host. That is called obligate parasite. Viruses possess their own metabolic system. Virus has no metabolic system, so completely depend on host. This is also wrong option. Next question. All the following statements concerning the actinomycetes filamentous soil bacterium Frankia are correct. All the statements are correct except that Frankia. Number 1. Forms specialized vesicles in which the nitrogenase is protected from oxygen by a chemical barrier involving triterpenes hopanoids. It is correct option. Can induce root nodules on many plant species. Also right. Like rhizobium, it usually infects its host plant through root hair deformation and stimulates cell proliferation in the host cortex. It is right, but nodule type structure is formed in the root. Cannot fix nitrogen in the phenotype. No, it fixes atmospheric nitrogen. So the wrong option is option number 4. Question number 30. Drosophila flies with XXY genotype are females, but in case of humans, such individuals are abnormal males Klinefelter syndromes. This indicates that the Y chromosome is male determining in humans, right? Because in Y chromosome, the short term contain all SRY gene, SRY, sex determination region Y gene that cause male. The Y chromosome has no role in sex determination. The Y chromosome is female determining in Drosophila. In Drosophila, the Y chromosome is essential for sex determination. The correct option of this question is option number 1. In case of human, the SRY gene or Y chromosome determine the sex of the humans. But in case of Drosophila, according to CB Bridge, according to CB Bridge, the sex determined by X and A ratio. That means number of X chromosome, number of autosome ratio. If the ratio is 1, then this female. If the ratio is 0.5, that is called male. The autosomal and sex chromosome ratio are less than male, less than 0.5, less than 0.5, less than 0.5, that is metamale. And more than 0.5 intersex, and more than 1 is metafemale. Sex linked gene present in the XYA ratio in case of Drosophila. The Drosophila sex determined by X by A ratio. Question number 31. Independent assortment. Independent assortment is the second law of Mendel of genes does not take place when genes are located on non-homologous chromosome. Genes are located on the homologous chromosome. Genetics are linked and located on the same chromosome. All the above. The correct option of this question is 3. Because at the time of linkage means when the genes located on the same chromosome, they do not take part in crossing over, so the genes are not separated during independent assortment. Question number 32. In a certain plant, red fruit RR is dominant over yellow fruit RR. The yellow RR. Red is dominant. And tallness means that is TT. Tallness is dominant over TT. Okay. Tallness. Okay. Also, if a plant with RRTT genotype, when a plant with RRTT genotype is crossed with the genotype contain RRTT, what will be the percentage of tall plants with red fruit? Percentage of tall plant with red fruit is here RT is crossed with RT and RT. Clear? So here R, T, T, and R, T, 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 and R, T, T. So red fruit and tall plant is become 50%. 50% plant become red fruit and tall plants, that is 50%. Question number 33. Lack of independent assortment of two genes A and B in fruit fly Drosophila is due to lack of independent. Why? Because it is called linkage. If linkage occurs, then crossing over does not take place, so do not recombination occur, crossing over occur. What is repulsion? Repulsion is a form of linkage. Repulsion means when the dominant genes, it's how this two is chromosome, so one dominant gene present here, another dominant gene present in the another chromosome. This is called repulsion. But transform of the genes. Question number 34 says a person with unknown blood group. A person with unknown blood group under ABO system has suffered much blood loss in an accident and needs immediate blood transfusion. His one friend who had a valid certificate of his own blood type offers blood donation without delay. What would have been the type of blood group of donor? When you don't know the blood group type and you give the blood to someone who is suffering from blood loss, that is type 0, because in case of type 0 there is no antigen present, so it is the word universal donor. Because in type 0 no antigen are present. Question number 35. The lack operon is an example of repressible operon, arabinos operon, overlapping genes, indigenous. Lack operon means when suppose this is DNA, this is the regulator site, promoter site, and operator site, and these three are structural gene. ZYA, that is it is a structural gene. So if the lactose is present, it repressible gene, this is repressible protein that repress the lac operon. This lactose repress the repressible protein, so repressible protein do not bind with the operator region and do not bind, so the RNA polymerase can move and transcription occur. So lactose is a inducer for lac operon, inducible operon. Next question, if next question is question number 36. If a completely radioactive double-stranded DNA molecules undergoes 2 rounds of replication in a non-radioactive medium, what will be the radioactive status of the 4 resulting molecules? So suppose this is radioactive DNA. When In first generation, it breaks into two parts, and another part contained from new culture medium. So 3 out of 4 contain radioactive, half of the number contain radioactive molecules, half of the number contain here, half of the, this is radioactive, this part is radioactive, this part is radioactive. So in first generation, half of the DNA contain no radioactivity. Correct option. Question number 37. Convergent evolution. Evolutionary convergence. Convergence means centripetal. Ancestor different, but due to same environmental conditions they adopt same, like birds and bats' wings help to fly, but birds are aves and bats are mammals. Okay. Common set of character is closely related groups. Common set of character in a group different ancestry, random mating, dissimilar characters. The correct option is common set of characters but different group of ancestry. Question number 38. Main objective of production or use herbicide resistant GM crops, genetic modified crops, is to encourage eco-friendly herbicides, eliminate weeds from the field without the use of manual labor, reduce herbicides accumulation in food articles for health safety, eliminate weeds from the field without use of herbicide. The correct option is eliminate weeds from the field without the use of manual labor, because the GM crops is actually herbicide resistance. So herbicide resistance. Question number 39. If you completely remove the decomposers from an ecosystem, it's one. Decomposer means fungi and bacteria. If we remove fungi and bacteria completely from ecosystem, its functioning will be adversely affected because minerals movement will be blocked, energy flow will be blocked, rate of decomposition will be very high, herbivores will not receive solar energy. Here the correct option is minerals movement will be blocked. Question number 40. Which of the following pairs is a sedimentary type of biogeochemical cycle? Biogeochemical cycle is phosphorus and sulfur is a biogeochemical cycle, but here carbon dioxide is a gaseous cycle, oxygen gaseous cycle, nitrogen gaseous cycle. A sedimentary cycle means the cycle starts from the soil. Question number 41. The primary succession refers to the development of communities on a pond's freshly filled with water after dry phase, fleshy cleared crop field, newly exposed habitat with no record of earlier vegetation. This is the primary succession. Primary succession means there is a only barren land. There is only barren land. There is no organism or no plants are survived before. This barren lands is covered with plants and different type of vegetation are formed. Okay, so this is the lichens and bryophytes is called the pioneer organism. Okay, and the trees are the climax community, and each step of development is called series. Each step is called series. Question number 42. Which of the following ecosystem has highest rate of gross primary production? The gross primary production is the coral reefs. Equatorial rainforest also extreme primary production rate. production rate. Question number 43. Which of the following, 42 also coral reefs, 43. The rate at which light energy is converted to the chemical energy of organic molecules is the ecosystem's net secondary productivity, net primary productivity, gross primary productivity, gross secondary productivity, which is called GPP. Sunlight, biomass produced during photosynthesis, per time per area is called GPP, gross primary productivity. When GPP used in respiration, the remaining part is called NPP. Question number 44 says, consider the following statements concerning food chains. Which two of the above statements are correct? The length of food chains is generally limited to 3 to 4 trophic level due to energy loss. This is the correct option, because one food chain contains 3 to 4 trophic level. This is one food chain, this is another food chain, but 3 to 4 trophic, because in each trophic level the huge amount of energy lost by respiration. Removal of 80% tiger from an area results in greatly increased growth of vegetation. Not tiger or lion is not a herbivore, so greatly increase the tiger or lion food like deers. The length of food chain is false. The length of food chain may vary from 2 to 8 trophic, not 8 trophic, 3 to 4 is the correct option. Removal of most of the carnivores resulted in an increased population of deers. Carnivores increase the result. Carnivores resulted in an increased population of deer. Carnivores means like lions. Okay. Population in deer. So 1 and 4 is the correct option. The last question of this video is question number 45. Study the statement A to D given below and select the two correct ones out of them. A lion eating a deer and a sparrow feeding on grain are ecologically similar is being consumers. Okay. This is two different type of food chain. Lion eating deers and sparrow feeding on grains. This is two different food chains, but function is same. So one is the correct option. Predators starfish Pisa star helps in this is the Pisa stars. Okay, helps in maintaining species diversity of some invertebrates. Definitely is the correct option, because when Pisa star remain in an ecosystem, the mussels population remain controlled. If the mussels population remain controlled, the other organisms can survive. But if the starfish is removed from the ecosystem, the mussels concentration very abundant and other population become decreases. Predators ultimately lead to extinction of prey species? No. False. Production of chemicals such as nicotine, strychnine by the plants are metabolic disorder. Not false. It is not a metabolic disorder. So here the correct option is 1 and 2. So 3 is the correct option. Thank you. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you think that it is helpful, please like, comment and share this video. If you have any doubt about any questions, please comment me on the comment box. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.